Hi, angel babies. Welcome to my first pick a card. I'm pretty excited. We have 3 options today to find out how you will create more balance in your life. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you for being here. It means so much to me that you clicked on my video. I am a little bit nervous, actually. This is the layout for the reading. I crossed out find because we're going to create this balance. It's not outside of us, it's inside. First, we're going to do a little energy check to see how you're doing right now. Just check in with you. Then we're going to see what is your feminine energy like. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. So what's your feminine energy like? Next, we'll check in with your masculine energy, and then we'll see what is throwing you off balance right now. And then we'll see what can help bring you back into balance. And finally, we will end with a writing prompt. I got these really cool writing prompts that are by Rupi Kaur that are specifically for balance. And I thought that that would be a really great way to end the reading. Along with some final messages, anything that wants to come through from spirit, source, whatever higher power, your higher self. Okay, so these are your 3 options. You have this flower agate that is super beautiful and sparkly, along with the Everyday Witch Tarot deck. Or you could choose the Geode slice that I've had since I was a little girl. And this is the Phantasma Tarot deck. I'll link all of these, or probably not link, but write them down below. And then this is a piece of, come on, brain, you can do this. It's like got two parts to it. It's cool, and it's like actually symbolizes balance or has like balance properties to it. I received it from somebody who gave me a reading, actually. And I might remember what it is, and if I do, then I will write it down below. And then this deck is the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot. So take the time that you need to choose which one you want, and I will see you in your reading. Love you. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the flower agate, then this is your reading. To get our little vibe check, I have this book called The Emotionary, a dictionary of words that don't exist for feelings that do. The words are by Eden Scher, and the comics are by Julia Wirtz. We are going to tune in, open up, and see what is your emotion right now. What's your energy right now? What's coming through for pile 1 right now? Superior, self-congratulatory. Interesting. Superiolated. Secretly feeling better than another after listening to them complain about doing something one has already done without complaint. And the second one is vapidity plus frustrated, vapidated. Exasperated from listening to other people quibble over trivial things. And here's the little comic. Oh God, I hate laundry days. My laundromat is always picked and the machines are ancient. Oh, I know, and I always think I'll be done in an hour, but then it takes 2.5. And if you forget your own detergent, you have to buy that shitty Tide packet or oh my goodness. Looks like laundry day is coming early this week. I'm definitely gonna have to Febreze this. Hopefully this is like okay to have on YouTube. So what came through for me while I'm reading this is that you might be feeling like you've been giving more than you have to give. That you have been listening to people spill their tea to you. That you've been the person that people come to when they are overwhelmed, upset, have stuff to get off of their chest, but you may not be able to tune in and give that same type of love and attention to yourself, or you haven't been lately. And that's the place that you've been in recent times, or that you're realizing that that's the type of person that you have been. They are coming into a greater awareness for yourself that you have parts of yourself that are saying, excuse me, like, could you listen to me? That they want you to be as curious and compassionate and patient with them, those inner parts of you, as you have been with other people. And this seems like very violent or like shadow aspect. It's very like dramatized, right? Very our intrusive thoughts get to this point of anger, frustration, superiorlated, evaporated when it's telling us when we are we're crossing a boundary with ourselves. That every single emotion that we have, there's nothing wrong with being angry. There's nothing wrong with being frustrated. But each of these emotions is teaching us something about our internal world. And I'm getting the feeling right now that you are realizing that. You're realizing how powerful your emotions are as to teach you who you are, to clue you into the type of person that you want to be. And it's not that you're like needing to personalize everything. For example, like let's say you feel angry, you're not like identifying yourself with the anger, but you're realizing, oh, like I don't have to get so attached to every single emotion, but it's showing you, hey, okay, yeah, like I'm angry. What does that mean for me now? What do I want to do with this anger? How do I want to channel it to support me to become the person that I want to be? Amazing, pile one. Okay, so now let's get your oracle and see your feminine energy. So we're going to read each of these cards with the perspective of your feminine energy first. The angel, that goes right along with what we just found out. We have the chloric count, the Oh, lavender. Beautiful. And then the grouse or grouse. Okay. Yeah, so we're seeing again that you just have this natural way about you of being the angel in people's lives. And you have that very like feminine presence about you, where you, especially when you are in a very like grounded, more in alignment with yourself, that you have that magnetic draw. Like people are just drawn to you and they want to tell you things, and they don't even know why they're doing it. They're like, I just feel safe around you. I just want to tell you all of my life story and my problems. And you love that, but you're learning now to have like better boundaries with that. Then we see movement, stillness, perception. Yeah, this is showing us too that you are creating more of that awareness for yourself of, okay, when do I need to move away from a situation? When do I need to create more stillness for myself? When do I need to like create more, change my perception? Like it's kind of giving like hanged man energy, where you're needing to flip yourself upside down or get out of whatever situation it is in. Like, let's say you're having a conversation with a group of people and you start to notice yourself like getting a little bit worn down, but in the past you would have just like ignored that and pushed through. And now you're able to maybe just like take a little break. Maybe that's going to the bathroom. Maybe that's just taking yourself to another room and just tuning into your own energy again and giving yourself the opportunity to figure out, okay, what are my needs right now? Do I want to continue this conversation and I just needed a little break? What does my body need? Do I need a little snack? Do I need some water? Do I need to go ground myself outside? And that you know yourself, you're getting to know yourself so much better and what your needs are, and you're having more ability to show up in that like feminine flow state of a receptivity to whatever the moment has to give you. That you are not going in with any particular expectation other than the boundaries that you know that you have for yourself. Okay, let's look at this one. It says, harmony prevails, a crock and gold awaits. A crock of gold awaits. Sounds amazing. Let's get some gold. Definitely think all of this. It's also showing winter. I'm gonna look this up in the guidebook. Doo-doo-doo. Here we go. Loving words and deeds bring somebody closer to you day by day. Someone lives on your promise. Fairy lore allows no one to trespass on your sensitivity without your permission. Woo woo! Your inner equilibrium balances your own good or misfortune. Before you dispense yourself to others, listen to your heart. With each beat, happiness will wing its way to you, carried on gossamer fairy wings. Your fragile quest for contentment will be fulfilled. There is an end to all arguments, and harmony reigns with friends and family alike. Ugh, that is beautiful, Padawan. Like, I could not have planned this. Your inner equilibrium balances your own good or misfortune before you dispense yourself to others. Like, you are getting very clear on your boundaries with other people. You're getting very clear on how to make sure that your cup is full first before you're trying to give from a dried up cup. Okay, then lavender, tranquility, kindness, self-care. Come on. You're feeling that sense of tranquility. That kindness is for you first and foremost. And then you're able to offer like more genuine kindness instead of like that face. You don't have to put on like a false pretense, a mask. You're able to show up as how you actually are, whether that's happy, whether that's tired, frustrated, and love yourself in all of that. And because of that, other people are loving you that way too. Beautiful. Okay, so from the like more masculine side of things, I'm seeing that there's a lot more stability in all of this. That while you are in this sense of flow and like being able to open yourself up more to receive first from yourself and then from other people, that there is this supporting energy behind it for you that looks like more of this movement and creating that harmony as the feminine and masculine are coming. It seems like your feminine energy may have been sidelined for a long time, and you are appreciating it more now. And your masculine energy is kind of like just this like more stable presence, that it's not overly inserting itself or being too demanding, although sometimes that programming might come up. But you're getting to a place now where you're able to hear the masculine or like feel the masculine presence as just like this much more like gentle and steady presence that's not super forceful in your life. Whereas it may have been more commanding and forceful in the past. Okay, let's look at what is pulling you off balance using our tarot. First, we're going to do this one that we already had, the Three of Wands. I'm already getting a message right away from that Three of Wands. Seems like you have a very particular vision for yourself of where you want to go. And sometimes when you have an idea of where you want to go and you're not there yet, you can feel like you're falling behind, or you might see other people who have similar things, and it's not necessarily like a jealous energy. It's more like, shoot, like I should be able to do that. What am I, how am I, what do I need to fix or to change to get myself to that point? And you can get kind of to fall back more on some of those more like masculine programs. And that can throw you off balance, because it does seem like you have more naturally a desire to be more sat in your feminine, in that receiving, flow, creative, whimsical, wild energy. And when you are, you feel much more yourself. Queen of Wands. Yeah. Again, it's like this is the person that you see yourself as. Like what you're capable of is being so much more in your power, sat on your dragon with your flowers, holding your wand, and when you see, especially other women who are able to just, it seems like they have like no end of energy, you're like, what in the, how are they doing that? And sometimes playing that comparison game, even if it's not super overt, can get you into trouble. Okay, I got 3 more cards. I got the King of Swords, 3 of Swords, and 4 of Wands. Okay, we got lots of Wands energy and some swords. So it seems like you have so much passion. And when you have this much passion, this much desire to fulfill your creative dreams, your so aware of, like, you might have so much inspiration and so many ideas, but then you have kind of this like push and pull within you, where when you start to get the passion, the creative ideas, then you might start to feel really overwhelmed of like, how do I make this happen? How do I bring this out into the real world, into the 3D reality and kind of start to get in your head into that masculine logic brain. And you might even fall back into some of this, like the programming around your wounds and the things that have hurt you, which is so understandable. It makes sense that your inner pain is calling you and it wants to be seen. Like going back to some of this stuff of here is you're learning that all of these aspects of you have wisdom. They have something to show you, and that there's not something wrong with you needing to be feeling that pain, to write out your pain in your journal, to create a voice note just monologuing your wounds, to go outside and have a scream in the woods, to really release some of this tension. And those things that are throwing you off balance are really not as shameful or problematic or holding you back as you might think. That you are actually right where you need to be. That you are listening to the wisdom of your body and your internal experience instead of racing ahead to try to catch up to everybody, because there's no catching up. You're not competing with anyone. There's no specific timeline that you need to follow to be able to celebrate who you are. But maybe you have this image in your head of how things should be, how you want them to be. And you're doing a little bit of this juggling act where you feel like, okay, this is where I want things to be. These are my dreams. These are my ideals. And then this is where I am. And you kind of do this little dance between, oh, this is feeling really overwhelming, to like, how do I get between where I am now and where I want to be? That's what's been throwing you off balance recently. So let's look at what will bring you back into balance. I think we got some of those messages already coming through. And I think that what's also coming through is that you already know a lot of what you quote unquote need to do, want to do, and it's just a matter of allowing yourself to be where you are, to be in the present moment, and to trust your process, that your journey doesn't need to look like anybody else's journey, that you don't need to be I'm thinking of Taylor Swift because I just went to the release party movie. That, like, if you were to compare yourself to Taylor Swift and be like, excuse me, like, why haven't I produced 12 albums yet? And like, why am I not like the singer and songwriter and performer and like all of the things that she does that are so amazing and powerful, that you could just be like, I'm a failure, I suck. Or you could realize all that you have already accomplished, where you are right now, and give yourself the grace and compassion that you need, which is actually more motivating. Okay, Knight of Wands. Got a lot of Wands energy, people. You got a lot of passion. Like, we got the fire-breathing dragon over here. We got this dragon. He's trying to cool off, but he definitely wants some more fire. This guy, he's about to, like, defend the kingdom with his magic. This woman over here, this chica, she's got some magic of her own. Yeah, we got a lot of power, a lot of magic. You are a creative, powerful person, and it's very evident in the fact that you are overwhelmed by your dreams. Like, it would overwhelm anybody to try to do everything that you think that you should be doing all at the same time. The Knight of Wands he is moving forward. He is flying towards his quest right now. And I think one of the things that will help bring you back into balance right now is kind of leaning into the story of your journey. That, like, you remember that you are the main character in your story. And so if you are having like a shitty moment, you're like, okay, and this is the part of my story where I am sobbing on the floor in my bathroom, and like kind of lean into the drama of it. Lean into the fact that being a human is so funny. Being a human is theatrical. It's, if you zoom out from it for a moment and look at your life, you're like, what is happening? What, like, this is so absurd. And I think that you have a gift for that naturally, and that this Knight of Wands energy is showing you that your life, like, bringing things back into balance for you, looks like acknowledging that it's okay for it to not be in balance, for it to be, like, maybe you've been holding a little too tightly to the idea that you need to be all like zen, kumbaya, meditating in a very specific way. But maybe that's just like not so realistic. That being a human is the laughing and doing that with like genuine gusto and belly laughter. Like, when was the last time you laughed from your belly? Or when was the last time you let yourself like fully sob? When was the last time you let yourself just be pissed and like let that out in a real way? Like, rage scream into your pillow like you're a teenage girl. I don't know if teenage boys do that. I hope they do, for their sake. Because being human, especially a hormonal teenager, is hard, okay? Whoever you are, it's hard. Non-binaries too. They, thems, all y'all. Especially if you're trying to hide your identity. Anyway. Then we got the devil. This devil energy, it's showing you that your shadows want to join your team. if any of you guys have seen the show, it's like another take on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it's the more recent one. And there's this very particular episode where it's like a role reversal where the character who plays the devil, Satan, Lucifer, in this show is coming to tempt Sabrina. And he's doing it in just this very comical, over the top way, where she is looking at him like, but like, why on earth would I do that? And it's things like, okay, now I want you to go and steal a piece of gum from this store. And she's like, no. And the whole purpose of this is that she needs to do these things to be able to join the Church of Satan, which is the church that everybody in her family, supposedly even her like dead parents, belong to. And she's like, okay, but none of this makes any sense. And I think that you are similar to this Sabrina character in that you see past a lot of the systems, the structures, the matrix, if you will, the programming that you were given, and maybe you have for a while, and that's made you feel lonely, isolated, confused, like, wait, like, are you guys not all seeing that? It reminds me of in I Am Legend, I think it's I Am Legend, where he's like talking to the mannequins just to have people to talk to. And I think that you have a very rich inner world where whether it's your shadows or mannequins that you set up, your creative outlet, you might think you are the only one, that you are crazy, that you should be locked up in an asylum, but that is just because the world is afraid of or has been creating this idea that we need to be always zen, always in control, always. It's giving purity culture. It's giving pleasure is dangerous. Pleasure is sin. And of course, like, you're aware that you need to have like some level of boundaries with yourself, but you're realizing that you don't have to police yourself to such an extreme that perhaps you have been. And there's a silliness, like back to the whole Sabrina thing, there's just such a silliness to believing that your shadow energies were dangerous in the first place. The devil was really coming to get you. The boogeyman was coming to get you in the middle of the night. And you're starting to utilize that, and that is where you're actually creating a more harmonious inner world for yourself, a greater sense of balance. Dang, Pawan. That's amazing. Okay. Let's get you one more tarot card, and then we'll do your writing prompt and final messages. Come on. Strength. Look at that storm behind her. It seems like you have probably been through a pretty big storm or storms of recent, and you are feeling kind of like a badass, or you should. If you haven't given yourself a hug, or like somebody even told me recently that they will like kiss themselves like on the arms or like their hand, which I think is really sweet. We can sometimes feel touch starved in this society, and to give that self-love to yourself, self-care, baby, is really, really special. But you are finding this really powerful abundance and strength, your power in the darkness, which is insane. Like, it's one thing when you're like, yeah, like I feel amazing when things are going well, but it's another thing when you have been in the hellfire, when you've been going through the toughest times in your life, and you're able to still be present and compassionate and give yourself that love and attention. And you might not even realize it sometimes in the moment, just how much stronger you are than you have been a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. So this message is for you right now, whether it's to just sit and reflect on where you were and where you are now, and how much better you are at handling that. Because you are making it through your storm with flying colors. It really feels like you're creating this sense of like your personal power is going to be shining, radiating, because it's not just grounding and balancing in those moments of celebration. I'm really happy for you, pile one. Okay, this is your writing prompt from Rupi Kaur's Prompts for Balance. Do you make time for rest? Why or why not? You know, I think that this is the perfect writing prompt for you, pile one, because I don't think that you give yourself enough credit for all that you have been doing. And it might not look like it on the outside. Other people might look at you and be like, I don't see anything happening. But on the inside, in your internal world, you have been slaying them dragons. You have been closing out those generational cycles. And that type of work is so healing, not just for you, but the people around you. And even if they don't tell you in words, they can feel it, and it starts to affect them. Notice how people start talking to you differently. Notice the way that people start to look at you differently. Even if they'll like give you weird looks. Those weird looks are because people are reflecting on something inside of them from what you are saying, what you are holding, grounding, stabilizing. They're like, huh. It might be triggering for them. Your power might be triggering for them, but it's so healing. Especially as you are believing in your power, as you are radiating that absolutely divine feminine essence, especially with the very grounded masculine. So thank you for being here, Pile One. I hope that you have enjoyed. Let me know how it resonated in the comments. Like, subscribe, check out my other videos if you feel so called. Also, let me know if you did this writing prompt and how it went for you. I'd be very interested to know. Check my links down below if you're interested in connecting with me in other ways, if you would like a personal reading. I love you so much. It's been an amazing connection and reading for me. Bye, love you. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Geode hunk piece, then this is your reading. For your little energy check, I have the Emotionary, a dictionary of words that don't exist for feelings that do. Words by Eden Scher, comics by Julia Wertz. We are going to tune in and see how you are feeling right now. How is Pile 2 feeling in the present moment? What is their vibe? Sending them lots of love. Catastrophe, extrapolate. Castrapolate. Of a person or situation to predict the worst possible outcome based on non-existent evidence. I got a missed call and a text from my brother telling me to call him ASAP. So now I'm calling him back, but he's not picking up. I wonder what's going on. Why isn't he picking up? Maybe he was kidnapped, or maybe our mom was kidnapped and he was trying to save her, so he texted me. But then the kidnapper got him too and saw that he was trying to get help, so he took his phone away, and I was his last cry for help, and I missed it. And it's too late, and now they're gone forever, and it's all my fault. It's going straight to voicemail. I'm sure no one's kidnapped. That never actually happens. Maybe he got into a car crash. What? How bad do you think it is? What's the number to the hospital? Oh my god, I don't even know which hospital he's at. Who do I... Oh, he just texted. He wants to know if I think he looks like Beyonce. Oh, phew, well, he sort of does. It's weird. Oh my goodness. You know, from this, I'm getting the vibe that you have a gift for a very creative, a very imaginative. You have this ability to go down rabbit holes, and that can lead you to this type of thinking where it's like worst case scenario vibes, or it can also be very like creative, planning out your dream life in very intricate, vivid detail. And that when you are not feeling your best, when you are feeling out of balance, that you end up going down these more doomsday routes where any intrusive thought can start to lead you down a deep, dark spiral. But on the flip side, you have this gift for being very observant to the beauty and the details of things that other people might not notice all the time. And you are in a place right now where you're learning to create more magic, whimsy, dream from that place of curiosity and wonder instead of going down these places. And that even when you do go down the like doom, gloom rabbit holes, that you're able to almost use that to your advantage as well. You might actually really resonate with pile 1 because they were getting some similar things as well. That you have this ability to flip things on their head as well. That like you could also resonate with this person where they're almost like unfazed by the drama, and they can like zoom out and sit back and just be like eating their popcorn while there's like something blowing up in front of them. And not that you don't care, but you also don't need to be as invested in the drama as you used to perhaps be. Interesting. Okay. Pile 2, let's get your oracle. We have got the hummingbird, the brownie, snow, and goal. Brownie says, oh, and we're checking out first your feminine energy. We're looking at this for your feminine and masculine energy. How does your feminine energy present? How does your masculine energy present? Let's see. The brownie, it says, ask and it will be given. Thoughts and feelings vibrate powerful kindness. Snow says rest and contemplation. Goal, adaptability, balance, caution. Yeah, I'm noticing this slowing down. We even have the word balance here. Rest, contemplation. They're giving this, that you may have been someone who was always in a rush, always feeling like you needed to be productive and busy or on to the next thing. And now you're learning to be more at rest and to contemplate, to give your thoughts and feelings attention. The attention that they have been craving from you. Let's read from the fairy wisdom about the brownie from the full time. Number 6. The brownie. You will have several appealing proposals to choose from. Decisions lie ahead. People who honor their promises speed up a lethargic phase or relationship, encouraging it to flourish. You will discard irrelevant issues to concentrate on real achievements that possess a fateful quality. Temporary annoyances are fading fast, allowing all that results to turn out right in the end. Your faith will work miracles when you realize that a divine hand is leading and protecting you. This is giving a feeling of being a lot more discerning with where you are giving your attention, with where you are giving your energy. That, like I was saying earlier, that perhaps you were always feeling like you needed to be doing something, anything, that was somehow an achievement in and of itself. And now you're finding yourself just allowing things that are not for you to, you're allowing yourself to say no to those things. And then when things come by for you that are really for you, you can say yes with more of your energy, with a more complete and enthusiastic yes, because you actually have the energy for those things. I actually want to read about snow as well. Rest, contemplation. Snow plays a variety of roles in the winter season. In a garden, snow adds nutrients, elements, and moisture to the soil. It also acts as an insulator, keeping the ground and plants protected from major temperature fluctuations. The peace of a snowfall invites you to release the stress you've been carrying. But snow isn't always peaceful. Snowstorms force you to sit still, shutting down activity and travel. Without your typical choices, storms force you to confront what you might have been avoiding. The snow card asks you to reflect on the past. Time gives you a clearer head with which to review these events. Snow can help you work through your emotions and see the past in a more balanced fashion. Balanced. Trust what may seem like a slowdown, because it could be exactly what you need to stay safe. Reflection. What good things can you carry forward in life? What can you release? I'm noting that this is on page 111. That might be significant to you. It seems like, again, you're allowing the cycles of your life, whether that is the fall or the winter, like your personal fall, your personal winter, your personal spring or summer, to give you the key, the code to how your energy is presenting. So when you're in your internal winter, whether you are somebody who has a menstrual cycle or not, we all experience some level of, times when we are in a more restful, contemplative state of our lives, and you're not beating yourself up because you need to rest. You're not beating yourself up because it's time to slow down and reflect on how things went during harvest season. That you're allowed to move forward in your life with a greater ease because you don't need it to be so aggressive all the time. That your masculine energy is showing up in a way that feels more giving, that's giving to you what you need, noticing your needs, and is able to hear you, see you, understand you in a way that perhaps you haven't before. And your feminine energy is learning to receive that love, receive that nurturing from your feminine aspect, and to receive the more like stabilizing energy from the masculine. All right. Let's get your what's throwing you off balance. Well, you know, that would make sense. This is so funny. This card has like characters literally like flying out of the tower, and the tower is just a card of things kind of falling apart so that they can come back together. Like if you think about building a tower up, like when you're playing with blocks, or if you built a sandcastle, like you don't just build it to then leave it there and make a shrine to it forever. It's going to get knocked down. So then later on, you can build a new tower with the new wisdom that you have in your new cycle. And perhaps what is throwing you off balance is just life, you know, like life comes at us, and sometimes we're expecting it, we plan for it, like, you know, we planned to make that move from one house to another, or we planned to change careers, jobs, and all of that can throw us off balance to some extent. Other times, the being thrown off balance by life because we, you know, had somebody pass away in our life, or when we experience an illness, or we have we could got in a car wreck, or, you know, something that we didn't plan that then becomes this tower moment for us. All right, 6 of Wands. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. What is throwing pile 2 off balance? I'm seeing you with both the 6 of Wands and this particular 9 of Pentacles, interestingly enough, are kind of giving this image to me of being surrounded by, or like having people praise you, and that potentially that is giving you some sort of distress, whether that be just because you're not used to it being praised in some way. Like maybe you received a promotion and it's a little bit overwhelming to get used to this new position, or that you are feeling thrown off balance by receiving a new level of attention. Maybe you post stuff online, and when you receive comments, whether they are positive or less supportive, that can throw you off balance a little bit, to have more people perceiving you. But you are learning to adapt to adaptability. You're learning to adapt to this new level of attention. We also have the Knight of Cups. I love this Knight of Cups hot air balloon vibes. You might also have some emotional turbulence as you are moving in the direction of your dreams. That it gives mixed feelings, because we can get really comfortable where we are, even if it's not really where we want to be, and there is a lot of like the feeling of the devil, that no matter where we are in our lives, there's going to be some level of discomfort, right? And you are getting more situated on an emotional level to this new territory, your new landscape. Whether that actually be a new place that you're living, or it be job, a relationship, whatever, that every new change in our lives brings a new level of growth opportunity, but it also can feel like it's throwing us off balance. And you're realizing, oh, like, it's okay that I'm not always like perfectly in balance and harmonized, especially when I'm going through all of these different changes in my life. Okay, so what will bring you back into balance, or like create that feeling of balance in this time of your life? Oh, I'm hearing the song Time of Your Life. Oh, I'm trying to think. It's like Time of Your Life. I can't remember who it's by right now. Just look up the words Time of Your Life. There might be a message for you. Okay, the Hanged Man. Was I mentioning that earlier? Maybe that was in pile 1. Maybe that's another sign for you to check out pile 1's reading as well, if you want to. The Hanged Man has a new perspective for you. I think that you are taking, or are going to be taking, more opportunities to see things from a new perspectives in ways that might seem like weird or bizarre, unconventional to other people, and you're just starting to be like, like, I don't really care what they think. If I need to go sit in this tree, if I want to climb this tree, literally, metaphorically, I'm going to. If I want to hang upside down on my bed, if I want to go howl at the moon, chat with the moon, if I want to, like whatever your flavor of freaky, weird, magical, whimsical is, that you're leaning into that more. And that is bringing you more into balance with yourself. Ooh, I just lost. Interesting. Lost. I just dropped a whole bunch of cards. Got a whole bunch. And the one that was calling my name was the Ten of Cups. What's bringing you into balance is believing, allowing yourself to believe that you can have what you want. That maybe in the past you've been afraid to believe that you can have the things that you want because it hasn't happened before, or you opened yourself up to love or to the dream, and then it didn't work out in the way that you were expecting it to. But I think you're seeing now that it's not necessarily that you didn't receive love or that your dreams didn't come true. It's just that you're gathering the pieces of the puzzle along your way. That you're creating this tapestry for yourself, and you've been planting the seeds all along the way, and you're actually starting to see it grow now. That you have had all of this stuff under the surface for a really long time, and maybe it was frustrating to you because you would see other people or feel like maybe a little bit of this sense of like I feel like I need to prove myself, prove that my journey hasn't been a waste, even to yourself. And you're starting to see more of these like buds popping up and the actual physical evidence. And you're also realizing that your dream reality has been evolving. You've been clarifying it. So in the past, what you wanted, what you thought you wanted, you needed to go down some of those roads so that you could figure out, oh, hey, that wasn't actually what I needed, what I wanted, what I ultimately brings me true joy and is really aligned with my soul. And all of those storylines that you followed for a while helped you clarify your path. Helped you to now be able to have that greater sense of balance within yourself. That you're not feeling so weighed down by those things that you could consider your wounds, your trauma, they're not barriers to you receiving love. They are, in fact, evidence that you are so lovable, that they are pieces of you that are showing you a path back to a more expanded, whole, complete, balanced sense of self. That the more you're able to find these like new perspectives, allow that love in when you are performing or receiving your flowers, to really embody you. I'm noticing in this card these snails. That might be a sign for you. Look up the meaning of snails if you feel like it. Okay, then we also have the Two of Wands. I think one other thing that will help you come into greater balance with yourself in your life is that you're not going to be like such a tug of war with yourself. That perhaps you have two things presented in front of you, and instead of saying this or that, you're saying, I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing what feels in alignment with me instead of outsourcing the decision. That first you are making sure that your needs are met, and then when you are in that more like grounded, centered space, the decision just becomes a lot more clear. And you're also able to say like, okay, like if I started going down a path of like, towards this one thing, and you acknowledge, oh, hey, like this doesn't feel as good as, I got off on an exit and I actually would rather go the other way. You can get back on the freeway and take the other exit. It's okay to try out a route to know what is for you, what you really value. And that we're constantly in this state of exploration and refining our sense of self, that it's not set in stone. And there's no need to feel like this decision is life or death. This decision will, change my fate forever. My destiny is like written in stone and will never be the same after this. And I can understand that feeling, that sentiment of feeling like if I make this particular decision, then it's going to lead to all of these other ones beyond. But I think you're pulling that, like, it's like going back to your emotion in the emotionary. You're not going down the rabbit hole of doom. You're going down the rabbit hole of all of the potential amazingness. And you're bringing it back to yourself and you're just saying, I don't actually know what's going to happen. And that's amazing. It's uncertain. You're getting more balanced in the unbalanced. if that makes sense. The uncertainty, the awareness of the fact that it's okay not to know. It's okay not to have all of the answers and to not be in control, because control is just an illusion. We don't really need, we can't have it all figured out. And you are allowing yourself to be more in your present reality and just take it one step at a time and be excited for the possibilities of things going really, really well, believing that they will, that they already are. And I'm excited for you, pile 2. Okay, now we are going to read your writing prompt from the Rupi Kaur's Writing Prompts for Balance. How does the following quote make you feel? I thank the universe for taking everything it has taken and giving to me everything it is giving. Milk and Honey, page 159, which is one of her poetry books. Highly recommend. It's amazing. I think that this fits so perfectly with your reading, that you are not holding on so tightly to the past or worrying so much about the future, and you're opening yourself up to receive. I would be very curious to know if you choose to write something for this writing prompt. I definitely think you're exactly where you need to be, that you're opening yourself up to all of the amazing things that your path has to teach you right now. Thank you so much for being here, pile 2. I've loved doing this reading for you. If you've enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. Maybe check out some of my other readings if you feel so inclined. I'd love to have you. And I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Smoky Quartz, I remembered what it was, then this is your reading. Let's get this guy out of here. We're moving on from pile 2 to pile 3. Okay. Let's first do an energy check. I have this emotionary, a dictionary of words that don't exist for feelings that do. Words by Eden Scher and comics by Julia Wirtz. We're tuning in to pile 3's energy right now in this present moment, sending them so much love. Wow, you get 4 words. Okay. Logic, prioritize, logitize. To believe logic and rationality are superior to emotion. Ear, resolve. Ear plus resolve. To continually bring up an established problem with no intention of finding a solution. Emotion plus rationalize, emotionalize. To try to intellectualize one's emotions. Idiocy plus aggravated, idiovated. Frustrated by one's own inability to not be a dumbass. Okay. So it seems like you're in a place where perhaps your feelings of emotional intelligence and your logic brain, your thinking mind are a little bit in a tug of war with each other. That in some moments you're feeling like, like I just want to give up on the thinking, the overthinking, the overanalyzing, analytical side of things, and just give in to my heart. And then in other moments, you're like, no, like I really need to figure this out and solve this problem in a more intellectual, logical, rational side of things, and feeling like your brain, your logic is superior to your emotion. And that is part of what is creating this imbalance that you might be feeling right now. That perhaps you feel like you have to choose one over the other. Choose logic or choose emotion. Choose your head or choose your heart. But maybe you're coming into a greater awareness that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be head or heart. It can be both. It can be a balance. Great, pile 3. All right, I'm excited. Let's get your oracle cards. We're going to find out your feminine and masculine energy, how they're presenting in your life right now with these. The bow, the fairy queen of winter, peaceful sleep and deep slumbers precede morning glory. 10, maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. And your messenger bird is finch, activity, vitality, energy. I'm feeling like this finch card, the activity, vitality, and energy, is connecting me to the bow and feeling like there's this fire that's starting to drive you forward. But then you also have this peaceful sleep and deep slumbers precede the morning glory aspect of you. Maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. So it seems like you're getting more in tune with your cycles and your rhythm and how you flow through these moments of more high energy, vitality, activity, excitement, passion, and then into your times of winter to rest and tune back into the things that you did during the moments of activity. And this card, tend, maintenance, encouragement, guidance, is giving a feeling of how you are cultivating your garden overall. That you recognize that there are seasons of harvest and seasons, well, like the times when you're planting, that you aren't seeing you can't pick from your garden all the time, all year round, right? Let's read from the green witch's oracle about this tend card. What does it say? This is one of those where you just kind of have to search. It doesn't really have a number. Okay, I had to pause for a second to find it. Check the index. I think that that is a sign for you that you are having moments where you're like, oh, like I need to do this, to find this, to move forward at a certain pace that you think that you need to follow, and realizing, wait, I don't need to follow this pace or this particular pathway that other people have assigned to me. I get to make the rules now. That there are more options for you than maybe you previously realized, and that you are creating more options for yourself through maybe the changes that you're making with career or relationships, or where you're living, that you're letting go of things that are no longer serving you and choosing things that are serving you in a very conscious, aware way. And just realizing that you don't have to be everything to everyone, and you don't have to say yes to everything. Okay, maintenance, encouragement, guidance. Tending your garden is an important step in creating a thriving ecosystem. Maintaining a garden means weeding, snipping away dead flowers and leaves, fertilizing, and pinching back overgrowth to redirect energy. It's a cooperative experience. The Tend card is a reminder to you, too, that you too deserve maintenance. It's important to review the different parts of your life every once in a while with a keen eye, looking for areas you can tend for positive results. Just as you guide your garden, your energy also deserves loving guidance and encouragement. You may need to weed toxicity out of your life. Be discerning with where you put your energy. What was I just saying? Ask for guidance and listen to the messages Spirit sends you. Reflection. What areas of your life need support? What areas are threatened by toxicity? This is amazing. So as far as like your feminine and masculine, our feminine energy is much more creative, free-flowing. This is our receiving energy. And I see that you are receiving more of the intuitive messages that your body, your ecosystem is sending to you. And you're able to respond to those with a more consistent call. That's not the word. A consistent response, I guess. Just more consistently. And that your masculine energy, I'm seeing these two little raccoons looking at each other. It's like your feminine energy, your masculine energy, they're looking at each other. They're acknowledging each other, maybe for one of the first times in your life, that perhaps they were at odds with each other for a really long time. It was like, oh, one day you're able to be more creative and in flow and whatnot, but you didn't always know how you were able to do that or why that was happening. And now you're a lot more aware of how you're getting to that state of flow, and what masculine support from within yourself you need to give you. What your needs are, what your routines or rituals, or the more stability aspects that you need to make sure that you're able to be creative, be open, and receptive to love from yourself and from other people. Amazing. Pile 3. Okay, let's see what is throwing you off balance right now. Let's start with the 7 of Swords. This one was in the intro. The 7 of Swords does kind of have that feeling of being off balance, I guess. This particular depiction, I guess, looks like you're going into, maybe you've been going into your own subconscious, your psyche, to get more acquainted with some of the parts of you that have been ostracized or not in harmony, that have not felt heard, seen, heard, acknowledged for a while. And now you are acknowledging them, but that process can bring up that feeling of being out of balance. It's interesting that I'm even having a hard time speaking right now, articulating my thoughts. I think you might be feeling that way, that you're having a hard time expressing yourself. You're having a hard time getting what is inside of you to the outside, and that might make you feel like you're out of balance. That perhaps that is something that's normal for you, but it might feel like extra pronounced. Or maybe it's something that's not normal for you. Maybe you normally feel like you're an articulate person. Maybe it's usually easy for you to convey what you are experiencing. And that can feel extremely frustrating when you feel like, I've reached this point where I can't even understand what I'm feeling. But I think that you have been slowing down and giving yourself the time to process and allowing these parts of you to come forward and share their piece. This 3 of Swords came out in a reading that I did recently. You might be drawn to watch that. It was about what your shadow has to say to you. And your shadow aspects, or this feeling of being out of balance, might be contributed to some, or related to some past wounds of like a literal heartbreak from a past relationship, or from just your relationship with yourself. That sometimes we can get really caught up in the story of who we are supposed to be, where we are supposed to be headed, And then when we finally pull ourselves out of that and are able to take the time to reflect on who we want to be, where we want to go, from a more aligned place, from a safer place, because, you know, now we're an adult, or now we're in a healthier living place, or a healthier relationship, or whatever it might be for you, there can be some big grief that comes up when you create more safety for yourself. And in some moments, you might feel like you're reverting back to old patterns, or that there's something wrong, you're doing something wrong. And that might make you feel like you're really out of balance. But it's not that you're out of balance, or that being out of balance is a problem, that it's means that there's something wrong with you, or that you're unlovable, or that you won't ever feel that sense of stability and peace again. This sense of upheaval is a purging, it's a release, you finally feel safe to let these aspects of you go, to put down the heaviness that you have been carrying. And if you allow yourself to do that, you are going to feel so much better on the other side. The next card that came out as to why you're feeling out of balance right now is the Four of Cups. It seems like you might have a little bit of feeling like you need to hold on to some of these things from the past, or protect your resources right now. And there might be some aspects of you that are frustrated by that feeling of, some could call it almost like I'm picturing like Gollum. It's like, my precious. That when we get into those states of like fight, flight, freeze, our nervous system is so dysregulated. It is so normal for us to want to protect ourselves. Like, that is what we are supposed to do. That is what our bodies are created to, our animal selves. And you are not just some transcendent being who can somehow escape that. We aren't supposed to do that. We are meant to experience being a human. And this Four of Cups energy that you might be experiencing is having a hard time fully surrendering to the uncertainty, fully, like, let's say you have a really big emotion coming up and it's been hard for you to cry, or it's been hard for you to feel anger or resentment, or there's some particular emotion in your life that you have been told was bad, or you're not supposed to feel that your this Four of Cups is like, no, like I need to keep this inside me, to protect this. But if you are able to let that off your chest, let yourself surrender to it, that will help you to feel more in balance. Sometimes we have to let the cups spill over in a way that feels safe to us, whether that is allowing ourselves to sob in our bed or to speak openly to someone who feels safe to us, to go to a rage room to let out our aggression, to run off the really intense frustration. Whatever emotion that you are feeling, if you can tune into it and find a way that is honoring to that and that feels safe enough to you, where you don't feel like, oh, like I'm just gonna like blow a gasket at the nearest person who comes next to me and I'll just like rip their head off or something. Or, you know, like it would feel dangerous to me to cry in front of my coworkers or whoever if I don't release this pressure, it's probably gonna happen without my consent. So I think that you're finding outlets that do feel honoring to this aspect of you that's like, must control. Next we have the Knight of Swords. Can you see this? The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is communicating your boundaries. And it might feel like unfamiliar territory, that perhaps you're not the Page of Swords, that you have leveled up to the Knight, but maybe you're not quite at the Queen or King of Swords in your communication in whatever particular area that you're learning right now, or at least at this particular chapter of your life when you're feeling more vulnerable. It can be more challenging to communicate your boundaries, and this is an opportunity for you to level up. I think that is how you are, what you are bringing into balance, or how you are coming into balance, is learning to communicate more of your boundaries. Okay, let's see what else is coming through on how you are learning to communicate your boundaries, or how you will bring yourself back into balance. Interesting. We got the Knight of Cups as well as the Knight of Swords. What else do we got? We got the Empress. Let's get one more. And the Three of Pentacles. You know, it's funny. I was driving home today and people are starting to put up their Halloween decor, their spooky decorations. And I saw these three witches by a cauldron. And it just gave me the vibes of like the Three of Pentacles, like just some of the threes in the tarot deck. And I think something that will help bring you back into balance is aligning yourself with more people who are, I'm going to change the way that I'm wording that you are first coming into alignment with yourself. This 3 right here. The Empress is the third. The number 3. Big number 3, my lord. Big number 3. Shrek might be a synchronicity assigned to you. The Empress, she is very in tune with her internal world. She is very in alignment with herself. And that is calling in her people. And the 3 of Pentacles is more about like your physical stability, safety, things that you are grounding in your reality. And I think that is something that you are manifesting right now and stabilizing. The Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords are showing that your emotional world and your communication both are moving towards more harmony and I'm experiencing quite a bit of brain fog in your reading in particular. And I think earlier I was saying that I was having a hard time expressing myself. If you have been experiencing some of that, like more brain fog or having a harder time expressing yourself, that your throat chakra and your third eye, you might be spending more time like up in your head. And you're learning how now to stabilize or balance out, ground into your 3D reality, the things that really matter to you. Okay, I paused for a second to ground myself and come back to center. You might find that you are doing some of the same, that you are recognizing the things that pull you out of alignment, what that feels like in your body, and then how to bring yourself back to center with things like using elements, fire, the earth, breath, the air, or water, taking a shower, bath, running your hands under the water when you wash your hands. All of these things that bring you back into your body when you get a little bit in your head. Sometimes you can be a little bit up in your head, but I think that this Knight of Swords and Nine of Cups is actually showing that you are moving forward at a similar pace with your logic, your communication, your boundaries on that side, as well as your more emotional aspects. And then the Empress, I'm actually going to read to you what it says in the guidebook about the Empress. The Empress is a card of femininity, physically, mentally, spiritually, calling upon one to connect with the nurturing energy and feminine divine, bringing balance to their yin and yang. When this card is drawn, it can be an indication of multiple spheres touching on femininity, fertility, which can be your creative production of anything that you want to create, beauty, motherhood, sisterhood, all pointing to embrace the nurturing energy. And then that Three of Pentacles is suggesting collaboration with people who are in alignment with this energy that you are bringing into balance within yourself. And I think that that's something that will help you to maintain, or that will support that balance, that it's going to be a witness to you to show you that internal reflection. Okay, now let's get your writing prompt. That's from Rupi Kaur, her writing prompts for balance. I actually got you two. Don't tell the other groups. Okay, the first one is make a list of affirmations to keep you motivated during tough times. And the second one is, what are you looking forward to? I think right now you are bringing into your sphere, your ecosystem, a sense of it's okay when things are not okay. And during those times, I'm going to create for myself, you're going to create for yourself these tethers to beautiful things from the past that you were like either things that you overcame, giving yourself credit for how far you've come, memories of love and fun times that you had, and also then things that you're looking forward to. What is propelling you to keep going? And at the same time, you're very grounded in the present and allowing yourself to sit with the discomfort. That sometimes we can be in like that dream forward, where should I be? But this feels more like what's happening right now. What am I excited for that's already going to happen, if that makes any sense? Instead of it being, oh, what are my goals and aspirations? It's more of, oh, I'm really excited to go to this movie in a couple of days, or I'm excited to see my friend who's coming over tomorrow. Instead of it needing to be some like grand, elaborate plan that hasn't manifested yet. Because these little things that are already happening in the here and now that you're looking forward to, even something as simple as, I'm really excited to take a nice warm bath, or I'm so excited to eat my favorite snack in the sunshine. Like, the more specific that you can get, the more detailed that you are, your life is going to feel so abundant, even when it feels a little bit wobbly, a little bit out of balance. You're going to be like, it's okay. It's okay that it is. It's going to get better. I think that you are recognizing how gratitude and blooming where you're planted, just acknowledging what you have and making where you are the best that it can be, is calling in more of what you want. And you are doing it so much more intentionally, and your life is feeling, or it's going to feel, a lot lighter in the near future. That you picked kind of a heavy deck to go for, but this spooky season, or wherever you are in the world, this time in your life, this season in your life, whenever you're watching this, isn't going to feel so dark, because you are intentionally lighting that candle, carrying around the lantern up the spooky staircase, and making it into your own exploration. Whimsical, even if it's haunting. I love that for you, pile 3. If you have enjoyed this message brought to you by, then please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you did these writing prompts. I'd be interested to hear how it went for you. If you decided to check out that shadow reading too, let me know. Check out the links if you're interested in a reading with me. Thank you so much for being here. It has been my pleasure to do this reading for you. Love you. Bye.